Welcome back to Battle Cage. My name is Saif and I'm coming to you with another great video. Today we are going to be looking at Josh Emmett taking on Leron Murphy. I don't know why I said it that way, but I did. In any case, before we get into it, I do want to touch base on this graphic. And guys, and you guys can tell me if I'm bugging out or not. But what is going on with this graphic? It's absolutely atrocious. I do not like it. I don't know what's going on. They made these two guys
look like absolute monsters for no reason.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Josh Emmett, Leron Murphy, the picture, I don't know. This is just a half-ass job done, if you ask me. But then again, who am I? I'm just a handicapper. Yeah, I just wanted to get that out of the way. But yeah, you know, anyway, let's get into this video. All right. Let's get straight into this video. We got Josh Emmett taking on Leron Murphy, which I think is going to be a good scrap. Before we do start breaking down this fight, I do want to open up the UFC rankings for the featherweight division so we can touch base, because there's been recently some volatility. You know, the champ, Ilia Topuria, vacating the title, going up to fight in the light heavyweight division, the 155. So let's just quickly hover along. Now, they still got Ilia Topuria as the champ. There has been no interim, decided. We got Volkanovski taking on Diego Lopez for the featherweight strap. That's happening in another week. So, which kind of brings me to the conclusion that, guys, please be very, very cautious with this card. Do not overexpose yourself. Do not blow your budget. Do not give your money back, because, well, I'm sure many of you did very, very well from the gambling perspective from UFC Mexico. So we don't want to give that money right back. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that's a smart approach if you just ask me directly. But in any case, let's look at the featherweight division. We got Volkanovski. We got 1-3. Diego Lopez, battling it out. We have Mavzor Evloyev in the mix. You know what I'm saying? He's an undefeated prospect. His record is crazy. He's 19-0, but he's kind of a boring decision type of fighter. Although his last performance against, Aljamain Sterling at the featherweight division was very good, and I picked him to win. So I think he's going to be the next champ after after the storm is kind of weathered. So you got Evloev in there. Yair Rodriguez ranked number 5. I don't know how I feel about that. Brian Ortega still up there. Arnold Allen, you know what I'm saying, in the mix. And now we got Josh Emmett and we got Leron Murphy. So Leron Murphy, top 10, trying to get that, number 8 position, trying to get closer to the title. You know what I'm saying? So it's a very pivotal fight for Leron Murphy versus Josh Emmett. Like, what does he have left? What is he gonna prove to us? He's like, what, 50 years old? No, I'm joking. He's 40 years of age. You know what I'm saying? He is tough. He's very, very tough. There's no denying his toughness. But what is he fighting for? You know what I'm saying? And he got competition because Leron Murphy is very well. He's very well-rounded. And so the opposition in front of him is going to be very significant. And by the time we review that, I do want to show the clip of how he absolutely starched Bryce Mitchell. But that we can wait. So without further ado, we are going to use a UFC website. And we're going to use their lineup to kind of like go over the fights. The final lineup is yet to be determined. I don't know how that's going to look. But opening up the card, we got Vanessa DEMOPOULOS. Little Monster is her nickname, taking on Talita ALENCAR. I believe her nickname is the Problem Child. So again, this is going to be a very common theme: is who's fighting for and what is at stake. You got a 36-year-old Vanessa DEMOPOULOS. They're both coming in off a loss, by the way. So Talita ALENCAR, 34 years of age. The reach is very, very close, 1-inch difference. The striking landed per minute is going to favor Vanessa DEMOPOULOS. She seems to kind of like to dictate the fight on the feet, and when she can't bully the takedown and implement that pressure, she's the one that's going to be going at it. However, Talita is going to give her a little bit of a grappling opposition. So the takedown defense for Talita is going to be 50%, which is going to be much better than Vanessa Demopoulos. And this is a significant number. We got takedown average of 2 to almost less than 0.5, right? Favoring Talita ALENCAR. So in a fight like this, where it's not very entertaining, it's an opening bout, a lot of casuals, I guess, a lot of Vanessa fans are going to be going for Vanessa Demopoulos. Full transparency, I really do like Vanessa Demopoulos just as a person. I like her bubbly personality. I like how she, you know, like, I think was she with Joe Rogan or some of these guys, right? She just kind of like hugs them and makes her and makes them like pick her up. So she's very fun, you know what I'm saying? Bubbly personality. But Talita ALENCAR, I think she's fighting for a lot more. She's a lot more hungrier. She's, you know, a few years younger, so that's kind of going into her favor. And she's tough. She's a little packed, you know, durable fighter. You know what I'm saying? And I think she's gonna outperform Vanessa Demopoulos. Push comes to shove, and considering the grappling advantage is where I'm gonna be leaning. By the way, if you click this video, you already know these are my most confident picks. So it's not the entire fight order. I will be skipping some fights, guys, because I don't believe in wasting my time with every single fight. Vanessa Demopoulos here, minus 148 opening line. That was what, March 28th, not just about a couple of days, about a week or so. She's been diluted to minus 108. A lot of action has been moving this line. Here's Talita ALENCAR opening as a underdog, plus 124. Now seems to be edging out that, you know, near even Steven line. So as you can see, as high as plus 120 was the plus number for Talita. In any case, my verdict is going to be with Talita. I hate picking against Vanessa Demopoulos. It is the very first fight, so I don't necessarily recommend you guys taking action on it. But if you did have to take action on it, then you might want to consider Talita ALENCAR because of the grappling advantage. And in terms of the striking, once again, you look at the striking here, it's not too terrible. You know what I'm saying? 2.49. Yes, she's going to be a little bit slower, but the takedown average of 2, you got to respect it. Her accuracy is kind of shitty, but still, she's going to be shooting for it. And Vanessa Demopoulos' defense is just non-existent. She's very, very, she's like a fish out of water. She had the Asian girl completely violating her, by the way. Now, I did want to address, guys, this is my official Battle Cage profile on Topology. So I don't necessarily use Topology just to look at the fights, but I'm actually tracking my prediction score. I'm at 66.7, up from 64, because I did perform very, very bad in UFC London. UFC London kind of bit me in the ass. I picked some stupid underdogs, and I had 2 decisions that did not go my way. Fletcher and Mick Parkin. So those 2 kind of like really took a toll on my percentage. I was going in with 69%. 70% is my desired goal. Now, I had a great bounce back with UFC Moreno versus Ursak, 6 out of 7 most confident picks. And again, that percentage might have been a little bit higher had I not been stupid and I forgot to pick my most confident picks, include them in here. So in either case, let's go now to my pick section. That's how I basically make picks. I do this with you guys. So I got receipts. I will come back to this fight since we're not looking at it yet. But here you got Vanessa Demopoulos versus ALENCAR. Public perception is going to be on Demopoulos, but I'm sure if they took action at minus 142, they're already biting nails and considering a hedge bet because, well, the problem child is winning the money race. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to take ALENCAR. Because she got much more to fight for, 34 years of age. Maybe she can do something in 2 years. You know what I'm saying? And her fight skill is semi decent. So that's all it takes to kind of beat Vanessa Demopoulos. But she got hard. This is a very close fight at the end of the day. Let's move forward, guys. All right, moving up, we got Victor Henry taking on Pedro FALCÁO. Okay, this is an interesting bout. It is interesting. This one's tough, guys. This one's tough. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is a very tough one for me. Victor Henry, very seasoned, 24-7, taking on Pedro FALCÁO, 16-4, who's relatively new, who dropped the ball in his debut against Victor Henry, right? Tail of the tape right here. We got an overwhelming, again, consensus on Henry, who just comes off a loss against Charles Jourdain, who dropped down to the bantamweight division and submitted Victor Henry. That was a very nasty guillotine, almost Darce-like guillotine, but 37 years of age. You know, he's on the brink of 38, so he's probably on the slowdown. You can definitely consider that on a slowdown. You got Pedro, 32 years of age. You could consider this his top peak. You know what I'm saying? 16-4 record is not bad. He lost to Victor Hugo. I picked Victor Hugo in the last fight. It was almost a year ago, to year to date, 11 months. So you could consider him maybe improving, but at the price that we're getting right now, I'm not really confident. You know what I'm saying? We got Victor Henry minus 218 right now. Let me pull this up right here. Okay. So we got Victor Henry opening up minus 166. And people are picking him to minus 218. So it looks like Pedro is becoming a much wider and bigger dog. Here, we could consider looking at how they win. If this is going to go to decision, Victor Henry has enough, you know what I'm saying? Because his striking is there. His volume is really what we got to consider, because Pedro's volume is not there. He's more of a jiu-jitsu kind of guy. You know what I'm saying? That's his base, if you ask me. And then the grappling, as you can see, the 2 takedown average is going to favor Pedro. But if Pedro cannot secure the takedown and control, because the takedown defense for Victor Henry is recognized, it's 84%, so it's there. You know what I'm saying? And he's a busy bee. He's a busy bee. So if this is going to decision, if Pedro FALCÁO cannot stop Victor Henry, if he cannot submit him the way Charles Jourdain did, yeah, minus 218 and Victor Henry is not bad. It's not bad. I am considering the pick on Victor Henry because of the experience. Victor Henry has been there with some names. You know, Rafael Assunção, you know, that's a very seasoned fighter over there. Tony Gravely, that was a very close back and forth fight where he robbed me. You know what I'm saying? Because I had Tony Gravely and I had like, what, 2,500 on Tony Gravely. Don't judge me. There was a no decision, you know what I'm saying, against accidentally groin kick by Javid Basharat. And then Ronnie Yaya, he took him out, you know what I'm saying? A very aging Ronnie Yaya. So now he's coming off a loss against Charles Jourdain 4 months ago. He got submitted. He was looking okay, decent in that fight, but Charles Jourdain definitely belongs in the bantamweight, and you know that's something to consider. Definitely want to see him fight this year a couple of times. Charles Jourdain, that is. So if what's his name? If Pedro's gonna win, we got to consider maybe a submission. He's definitely not knocking out Victor Henry. I don't see a world where that is, because against Victor Hugo, he just went straight to grappling. You know what I'm saying? He could edge out a very boring decision, you know, because nowadays you don't even know how the judges are going to be, you know, judging this, you know, damage versus control and shit. So yeah, you know, very close fight. The odds are, I think, decent. decent. I'm not arguing. But if you're gonna look at volume, if you're gonna look at who's gonna be more busy in there, you know, you're gonna look at who's gonna be landing the strikes. It's probably gonna be Victor Hugo. I'm sorry, Victor Henry. And because of that, I am tempted to take Victor. So I'm gonna go with Victor Henry here. But his age, it doesn't really help me make that decision. So he's slightly bigger than Pedro. You know, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a funny feeling fight. Do I see myself overexposing, putting Victor in more than one parlay? Probably not. But I am going to take Victor Henry for the picking here. So let's move forward, all right? Next fight we're going to be looking at is LOOKBOONMEE versus Estela Nunes. And this is going to be a relatively fast review, and I'm just going to tell you why. I'm going to go over here. Let me take this guys off the screen. Let's pull up LOOKBOONMEE. Okay, here's LOOKBOONMEE. I'm sorry. Let's pull up LOOKBOONMEE. And this is a line from FanDuel. Yeah, this is a line from FanDuel. Yeah, this is ridiculous. I will pull up the lifeline on DraftKings right now. Give me a second. So I actually do not have a line on DraftKings. So the only line I have to reference is FanDuel. But I mean, this is a disgusting number, minus 670. And if you are considering playing LOOKBOONMEE at minus 670 in your parlay, you absolutely, and don't get this wrong, you absolutely deserve to lose. I'm sorry to say this. If you are considering betting any female fight at minus 670 in your line, you deserve to lose. You're probably one of those people that is losing so much, and you're going to lose because that's not smart. So don't even waste a single minute on this fight. This fight is ass to begin with. Nobody cares about LOOKBOONMEE. I don't. You know, a small 5'1" fighter who's not going to go any far, as far as I'm concerned. Her last fight, I don't even know when it was. When was her last fight? A year ago. So she fights once a year, if that. You know what I'm saying? She didn't fight in 20. I don't know, man. It doesn't matter. Minus 670. Slap yourself silly if you even considering betting on LOOKBOONMEE. I'm not even gonna, you know, degrade myself and make a pick here, because who cares if LOOKBOONMEE wins at minus 670? She's not my confident pick. It's women's MMA. Imagine Estela Nunes, who had a fluke injury, right? Who freaking broke her arm, being taken down by Victoria Dudikova, I believe. Yeah, who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? And why? Someone comment down below. Why is Estela Nunes even fighting in the UFC? Coming off 4 losses consecutively. Ariana Coronosi submitted her. Sam Hughes had a majority decision. Yasmin Guwargi knocked her the hell out. And Victoria Dudikova had a victory gifted to her because of a dislocated elbow. And again, true story, I did bet Estela Nunes that fight. So I'm probably mad at this chick to begin with, because she doesn't drink milk and gets her elbow dislocated. But whatever. Who gives a shit? There's a world where she can win. Her volume is semi okay. Semi okay. You know what I'm saying? She probably could out-volume LOOKBOONMEE and have a robbery, and then all your parlays are going to be dead. Sorry to say that. So who cares about LOOKBOONMEE or Estela Nunes? That's more than I wanted to talk about this fight. Let's move forward. All right, up next, we got Reese the Skeletor McGee versus Daniel Frunza. Reese McGee, I gotta tell you, I don't like him personally as a fighter. I don't know why he's fighting. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why he's fighting. I do like how ferocious Daniel Frunza is. I like the positive volume that's coming from Daniel Frunza. You know what I'm saying? I like the fact that he's been knocking dudes out in the last 5 fucking fights. Excuse my language. He is giving up 5 inches of reach, sure, but he's just as tall as Skeletor. And one thing about Skeletor, I will give him the split decision, props to go against Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, who I like, by the way. I bet him last fight, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Shout out to Chitty, man. I love Chitty. And now you got jokers who are going to be persuading you that Skeletor is a dog, and he is. He could bark. He could bark. But the physicality that's with Daniel Frunza, I like that. I like the physicality. You know what I'm saying? I like the striking volume. He's gonna match Reese McGee very well. The body composition he's gonna match. He's a natural welterweight. Remember, I think, was it a second fight for Chitty? Was that his second fight? Let me just. Was that his second fight or not? I'll look that up. It's okay. I'll come back there. One thing though that scares me is, he is kind of a debuting fighter, and 82% of us are picking him already. But there is something to like it. I like the fact he's coming off 5 knockouts, and I think he's going to continue the knockout streak. And there is a good world out there that he's going to knock the out of Reese McGee. There is a world. So let me go with Daniel Frunza. I'm a 50-50 pick on this one. I'm very as you can see, I'm very torn. In picking him, but overall, he's okay. And what's really going to be the deciding factor is this. It's the absorb per minute. Reese McGee absorbs more punches per 15 minutes than his opponent. And where the other opponent is a striker and he's knocking dudes out, we're going to have to go with the guy who's knocking the out. Sorry, I censored my own self because kids might be watching. And it's 2:39 in the morning. I got work, thank God, at midday. But I was working out. I had to get that in. Had a little meal. And here I am breaking down UFC fights, guys, telling you guys my most confident picks. And I got to tell you, I'm going to go with Daniel Frunza. What's the line here? The line, my plus 136. He was going down. And then here's a bounce back. Because there are going to be some jokers out there. They're going to, persuade you that he's a dog. And he is. I just don't believe in Skeletor. They gave him a chance. They gave Skeletor a chance. He came in, fought Chimaev, got ragdolled. He went to the regional scenes. I do respect the hustle. You know what I'm saying? Then he went to the regionals and he was just violating dudes, knocking them out. And then he lost against Angel Osa and had a split against, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. So now you got a debutant. And that's a good fight. That's a good matchmaking. So, yeah, it's going to be a good scrap. The 5-inch reach advantage is definitely favoring Reese McGee, but I think he lacks power. So let me go with Daniel Frunza, final pick. Let's move forward, guys. All right, here's another fight that if you are considering betting Diony Barbosa against Diana BELBITA, slap yourself silly. I think the line is absolutely atrocious. Minus 600 on Bet Rivers. There is no line on DraftKings because these lines are just nasty. You want to talk about nasty? This is what nasty looks like. Nasty line are Diony Barbosa. Minus 500. Opening line, minus 620 current line. If you're even thinking of putting an MMA female fighter at minus 620, you deserve to lose. I'm going to say this again, guys, because I really want you to understand how passionate I am about this. If you're betting a minus 600 female fighter who is really unproven, you deserve to lose your money. I'm sorry to say this. You got to be smart and methodical. And there's absolutely nothing smart or methodical in betting Dione Barbosa, who's coming off a loss, right? Who's 32 years of age, who's not a prospect, who has a 7-3 record, you know, who's losing to Miranda Maverick. Now, I'm not saying that Diana BELBITA is showing us anything, you know, besides her physical attributes, right? Yeah, you know, who she beat? She beat Hannah Goldie. She beat Hannah Goldie. Look up where Hannah Goldie is. And she beat Maria Oliveira, the biggest letdown of my life, who I trusted. I hate that woman. In any case, lost to Gloria DePaula, lost to KK, Carolina Cavalcante, I think that's how you say it, and lost to Molly McCann, who just retired, okay? Who submitted her. If you are even considering Diana Barbosa here, I am going to take her as a pick. She should win on paper with 93% confidence. I'm going to go with the public here. But there will be absolutely no bet for me. And if you even considering remotely betting on Diana Barbosa, we don't have the lines. We don't have the lines that I'm looking for. There is no open lines. But if they opening up a finish, that's the only thing I would even recommend is taking Dione Barbosa by finish. Most likely by submission, most likely, because how are they win by 43% by submission and 57% by decision. Diana BELBITA is potentially fighting for her career. She might get cut. You know what I'm saying? She might get cut. But yeah, by finish is probably the only thing on anybody's radar. Anyway, moving forward, we got Davy Grant, the savvy veteran, versus Daniel Santos. And I don't have a really good read on this guy because Daniel Santos is my brother's, you know, favorite kind of fighter. He loves Daniel Santos. I don't know why, for the love of me. I didn't get the chance to pick his brain on this fight yet. Yeah, let's look at the tail of the tape, okay? Let's look at the tail of the tape. We got Davy Grant. You know, he's 39 years young. 39. And I go back with Davy Grant. I know Davy Grant way back. You know what I'm saying? I think when he was on the Tough, all the way when he was on Tough, right? Was he on UFC Ultimate Fighter? I'm sorry. Ultimate Fighter, right? Tough. So I go way back with him. This is a long time that I know Davy Grant. That's how he's been in the game a long time. And kudos to him. And he has some spectacular wins along the way. You know what I'm saying? Nice KO against Martin Day. Jonathan Martinez KO. Very, very impressive, you know. Losing to Marlon Vera. Split decision loss to Adrian Yanez. That could have went either way. You know what I'm saying? Knockout against Louis Smolka. A great win against a very savvy veteran, Rafael Assunção. Lost to Daniel Marcos. That might have been a robbery. That's another close decision that you can argue. And he just coming off a win against Ramon Tavares. So who got more to lose? It's probably going to be Daniel Santos, you know, who's 30 years of age, prime. He's in his prime. You know what I'm saying? He's in his prime. Physically, 5'7" to 5'8", you know, matching very well. The volume, you know, favoring Davy Grant ever so slightly. The takedown, kind of almost the same. Daniel Santos has about 1.9. There's no stat that really wants me to take one side or the other. It's a very close fight, if you ask me. You know, if Davy Grant is 35 years of age, I'm probably taking him and putting a bag on him. But right now, Davy Grant at 39 years of age, it's a scary proposition. I don't even feel comfortable considering Davy Grant. Again, that's just me personally speaking. There are lunatics out there who are gonna play Davy Grant, and they're gonna be very, very satisfied with that pick. They're gonna be very content with Davy Grant. Davy Grant opening up at plus 170, and now he's juiced down. He has been diluted. He's plus 136. So there are lunatics. Like I said, see, I didn't even look at this, guys. I do this with you. There are lunatics that are Davy Grant believers, and you guys should believe in Davy Grant because, well, he's not bad. You know what I'm saying? He's not bad. He's not bad. He's very well-rounded. But at 39 years of age, do we want to trust him in this spot? Or do we want to take Daniel Santos, Willie Cat, you know what I'm saying, who's coming off a TKO via knee against John Castaneda, and Johnny Munoz, a pretty decent performance. Decent. Shooter box, Diego Lima fighter. It's not going to be an easy outing for him. Davy Grant is very well-rounded, extremely seasoned, and he's always dangerous as his nickname. You know what I'm saying? No pun intended. So I'm very torn here. I do not want to pick against Davy Grant, and I do not want to pick Daniel Santos. I'm going to reserve this position at the current moment not to take a selection. I might come back on Friday and I'll have a better insight for you guys because I do want to speak to my brother. Like I said, he has Daniel Santos figured out. He told me when to fade him. He told me when to play him. So at minus, what is he at? Minus 162, he is playable. You know what I'm saying? He is definitely playable. And coming down that line, I do not hate picking him right now at minus 162, considering that he's 9 years, younger. 9 years of speed advantage. You know what I'm saying? The older you get, your reaction time slows down. Your recovery slows down. Everything freaking slows down. I know because I'm getting up there now at 36. So I am feeling it. And I'm working out right now. So I am feeling how crazy it is. And I respect these, veterans in the game. I do respect them quite a bit. So at the current moment, I don't have a pick. My heart wants to say Davy Grant. And my heart wants to say that's a dog. And he is. He's a fuck dog. I had to censor myself again. He's a very good dog. I love Davy Grant. I told you, I've tough days. 2013, you know what I'm saying? The OGs, still the youth. How do you go against the youth? How do you go against the youth? That's very difficult for me to even ponder. In any case, let's go and circle back relatively soon. Let's move forward with the next fight. I've spent too much time here already as it is. We got Ode Osbourne taking on Gurule. I don't know how to even say his name, but Luis. Let's say Luis. It's a debutant versus Ode Osbourne. Ode Osbourne, surprisingly, for the love of God, he's been in here for just so long, it seems, right? He's been in the UFC a long time. He is a Dana White Contender Series alum. Came in 2019. His debut was against Brian Kelleher, where he suffered a submission. So since 2020, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 fights. And that's impressive. That is impressive. I got to tell you, that is impressive. That's very, very impressive. 3 fights in 2021. That's impressive. Been knocked out, been submitted, got his own knockout victories. Knocked out Zaruk Adeshev, the first Uzbekistan fighter, in my knowledge. Zaruk Adeshev is a GOAT, by the way, for Uzbekistan fighters. This man single-handedly introduced my country on the map. Shout out to Zaruk Adeshev. I don't know where you at, my guy. I saw you in a supermarket here in Brooklyn one time. So shout out to you. But you opened up, Uzbekistan for UFC. So he's the GOAT, in my opinion, for anyone coming off of Uzbekistan. He paved the way, man. You got to respect the OGs, even if they're getting knocked out. But yeah, in the last 3 fights, he is fighting upper echelon, Asul Alambayev, Jafel Fialho, and Ronaldo Rodriguez, who just dropped the ball, and I picked against them, by the way. Kevin Borjas, the biggest underdog play for me last week. No surprise, no surprise. Now, the unanimous decision, again, that's kind of maybe split decision, but whatever. What can I tell you about O'Day Osbourne? He's okay. He's not spectacular. But Louis Gruel, I think I'm going to go. I want to pick him, but I just realized something. That reach disadvantage is disgusting. 9-inch reach advantage. But the volume, 7 strikes landed per minute. You got to respect the volume. And he's undefeated. You got to respect that. 10-0, undefeated prospect. Louis the Grim Gruel, give it to me, man. Give it to me because he deserves to win this. Factory X Muay Thai, gym. His reach is very small. He's only 5'5", so he's gonna have to really get in there. He's gonna get in that inside the pocket. I hope he doesn't overextend himself and get knocked out because, well, Jamaican Sensation does have the knockout power. But from the tape that I saw, it wasn't today, 2 days ago, I like Gruel. I like what I saw. He's very, very dominant, very imposing. I like his game plan. You know what I'm saying? His strikes, like I said, very up there. His defense is decent in the striking. They both absorb about 4. The grappling department is going to be kind of neutralized. I am wary a little bit about the takedowns because the takedowns are favoring O'Day Osbourne. He's going to be more of a complete seasoned fighter, whereas Louis Gruel is coming in as a debutant here. So definitely makes me a little bit iffy. The money is coming in on O'Day Osbourne, opening up at plus 200, currently at plus 190. But I'm okay. Minus 230 at DraftKings right now is decent for me. I do see myself playing this guy in a parlay again. I wouldn't overexpose myself too much. You know what I'm saying? I don't like to do that. So where's my guy Gruel? Minus 230. I do see myself playing Gruel. I feel confident enough in his skill set. And he's undefeated, man. And, Inglewood, Colorado, man. Let's go. I'm gonna go with Louis. I think he has what it takes. He got enough tools. He got enough tools in his shed to get the job done. Let's move forward, guys. Spend more than enough time with O'Day Osbourne. Keep it pushing. All right, so the prelims are a wrap. We're in the main card. Taurus Finney versus Robert Valentin. And if you do not know who Taurus Finney is, what are you doing with yourself? No, I'm joking. AKA the Punisher. He is 10-0, undefeated, 5'8", super stacked middleweight. I do wish he fought at a lower weight. I wish he can cut weight. Because 185, he's fighting really big dudes out there. And he's always going to be undersized at 185. He's just a very brolic version of, as you can see, Jack the up. Yeah. Yeah, that's him. That's literally how he looks. It's how he looks, man. Finney is currently minus 245. Robert Valentin knocked out by Ryan Loder. And I don't know. I do not remember this fight, guys. For the love of me, I have no idea this fight happened. I don't know where I was. What happened 7 months ago? Who the hell Ryan Loder is? I don't know. I don't even know who Robert Valentin is. I do know who Taurus Finney is. And I'm going to take Taurus Finney. I am going to take him. He's so jacked. I just think 185 is not his class. But he's young. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? Maybe he sees how tough the middleweight division is, and he's gonna, tone it back a bit. At 170, 5'8" is probably where he would be a lot better. Rafael Dos Anjos, I believe, is like 5'8", right? So he kind of did okay at the welterweight division. So, you know, him cutting down to 170 would be absolutely amazing for his career. That's just my personal opinion. But he's super jacked. Watch this guy. His striking is not so active, but they are powerful. But he doesn't get hit that much, which is very good. Versus Robert Valentin, who takes 6 shots per minute. That's incredible. You do not want to get taking shots from Taurus Finney. I'll tell you that much. The takedown, though, is where this man lives. 10 takedowns per average 15-minute fight. That's incredible. He's going to take your ass down. I don't care what anybody says. That center of gravity is going to favor him in any single matchup, especially if he's always undersized. Maybe that's why he's still staying in that division. 10 takedown. Jesus. Okay. Minus 245. Finney is going to be the pick. Let's go, Finney, man. I'm going to be rooting for you, man. Let's go. I have nothing else to say. This is pretty much how I'm going to break this fight down. Takedown accuracy, 70%. Ground and pound. Finish this guy, Robert Valentin, who doesn't belong in the UFC. Let's move forward. All right. Brad Tavares versus Gerald Meerschaert, the GOAT. I'm joking. I love Gerald Meerschaert, man. How do you hate on this guy? Gerald Meerschaert, probably one of the most decorated submission artists in the UFC. He has a lot of submissions. A lot. Win by. His submission is 78%, guys. 78% submission. When's the last time you saw that? You know what I'm saying? And he's, you know, he had some crazy upsets. In the last 5, you know, he won 2. Knocked out by Joe Pyfer. It's Joey. What are you going to do? Lost against Andrei Petrovsky, split decision. What are you going to do? Submitted Brian Barberina. Submitted Edmund Shabazian. And he was a big dog. He just basically weathered the storm against Edmund Shabazian. And he just lost to Renner the Ritter by submission, right? Crazy. Yeah, you know, Tavares, as long as he doesn't get submitted, he stays active. Also, Brad Tavares is an OG, by the way. If you don't know who Brad Tavares is, I don't know. If you're just joining me all of a sudden, and you're listening to me break this fight down, and you're like, yo, who is this guy? Tavares. Tavares been there. Tavares been there a long time, guys. Coming off the tough in 2010. Remember when UFC even had names, guys? Remember UFC Resolution. UFC 125 Resolution. Wow. 2011 was his debut as a professional in the UFC. And he won by KO. He's been there a long time. He has strength, a lot of good wins. You know what I'm saying? Lost against some tough opposition. So he's very seasoned. Been there with a lot of good folks. When the distance with Israel Adesanya in 2018. And as of late, losing a split decision to Jun Young Park, the Iron Turtle, and getting knocked out by Gregory Rodriguez because, well, that's what Gregory Rodriguez does. Yeah, I do think Tavares is going to win. The line is crazy. I will admit the line is crazy. I did not know the line is so wide on this fight. He is minus 265. The line has moved. It has moved just a little bit. You know what I mean? Opened up at minus 258. He's now minus 265. I do expect this line to move a little bit further because, well, he has pretty good takedown defense. You know what I'm saying? His grappling is semi-decent. And by decent, I mean 80% takedown defense. So that's very good. And if Gerald Meerschaert cannot take you down, what is he going to do? Knock you out? I beg to differ. You know what I'm saying? So let's go with Brad Tavares to out-volume, out-point, maybe finish Gerald Meerschaert. Maybe. It's a good scrap, though, overall. But I think I have enough to make a decision. I'm going to go with Brad Tavares. And I don't know why so many people are picking Gerald Meerschaert. 63%. But you know what? To each his own. I'm not hating on Gerald Meerschaert. He is the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? He has a lot of submissions. A lot of submissions. He has 29 wins by submissions. Give me another fighter that's doing that. Give me another fighter that has 29 submissions. You could literally play this guy by submission the whole time, and it doesn't matter. You would have been up so much money throughout his career. Since 2016, if you only played him by submission, you would have been up a lot of money. So, Gerald Meerschaert, the submission GOAT. But I don't know if he's gonna submit Brad Tavares, and that's why I have to go with Brad Tavares over here. And yeah, let's move forward. You know what I'm saying? Kennedy Nzechukwu taking on Martin Bourdais, and I'm gonna tell you this right now: if Kennedy Nzechukwu loses this fight, I'm personally gonna fight Kennedy Nzechukwu. The reason is, well, I have a monster parlay going right now. And it's tied from last week from UFC Mexico. And he is the second to last leg, Kennedy Nzechukwu. I'm going to show you my bet slip, guys. I'm going to open up my bet slip right now. Full transparency, as you can see. Lupi Godinez, Edgar Chairez, Kevin Borjas, Raul Rosas Jr., Joe Pfeiffer, who was not there, but he probably would have won. Manuel Torres, shout out to him. Brandon Moreno. And now we have Kennedy Nzechukwu next. It's a $75 for a $2,000 payout. That is beautiful, guys. They're currently offering me a $1,000 cash out. I have not cashed out yet. So if Kennedy Nzechukwu loses this fight, I am going to personally fly out to his gym and challenge him to a fight, because he should absolutely violate Martin Bourdais. Martin Bourdais is one of those sloppy, overweight fighters. You know what I'm saying? His stomach jiggling. He's not really impressive. The only thing I'm scared of, he's going to just pressure at Kennedy Nzechukwu against the wall. But Kennedy Nzechukwu coming up to the heavyweight, and he fought cans. No disrespect to Chris Barnett. No disrespect to Lucas Brzezinski. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. He gotta win. He has a 6-inch reach advantage. He's younger. He's muscular. You know what I'm saying? He got the African genes in him. Niger. He got to win, man. He got to win. I haven't cashed out, so I'm sorry. Did I just pick Bourdais? My bad. Yeah, Kennedy Nzechukwu should win. That's going to be my official pick. Martin Bourdais is just not impressive. His significant strikes, 4.8 to 5.37. Kennedy Nzechukwu is a little bit more methodical. I gotta tell you, sometimes he's too methodical for my liking. You know what I mean? He just plays with you. He's like, no, just swing, brother, man. Swing. That's what I want him to do. I want him to swing. I want him to knock out Martin Bourdais, secure the bag for me. And if they're giving me 1,500, I'll take it. I'll cash out. I'll give him 500 on the table. Yeah, 1,500 after Kennedy wins, I'll take the money. I'll give them the $500 tip to the bookies, because I have another parlay immediately after, 12-leg monster parlay, and I'm still alive, as you can see. That's tying me up for the entire mid-April, right? I got Manuel Torres, Raul Rosas, Kevin Borjas, Rafa Garcia, Jamal Emmers, Diego Lopez, dog money for the new championship, Paddy Pimblett, Jean Silva, Lerone Murphy, Pat Sabatini, and Kennedy Nzechukwu. So I'm willing to write out that parlay, right? Who cares? $25 for 5,000 almost? Craziness. But yeah, Kennedy Nzechukwu, man, you got to win. Like, you just have to win. And I haven't cashed out. Next fight, we got Cortavius Romios taking on Chung Go Lee. I don't know. Cortavius coming off a loss in his last fight, right? I don't know, man. He lost to Gastelum Bolaños. Go figure. I don't know. This is I don't know fight. 82% are going with Topology. A Topology community is going with Chung Ho Lee. I'm gonna roll with him. I think he's extremely undersized for the bantamweight, 5'4". He should be a flyweight. He should be a flyweight. The size described, but he has long arms, 68 inch. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Chung Ho Lee just because I don't have any real reason. There's whatever. Maybe the volume. The volume is good, 4.9 to 2.1. The volume is decent. His defense is decent. So yeah, well, let's go with Chung Ho Lee. Korea needs to get on the map. You know what I mean? They need to represent. So let's go with this guy. Savage. I think he's a savage. All right, call me in event time. Man, this is crazy. If you looked at one of my parlays that I just mentioned, Pat Sabatini is my dog play. I'm extremely disappointed in Joe Anderson Brito. Joe Anderson Brito is a tough puncher. He's a very tough guy. He's a tough guy all along. You know what I mean? I just think he's stupid. Like, we know a lot of fighters are stupid. They're dumb. It's what it is. I'm just being very honest with you. But 91% of people completely on Joe Anderson Brito because they probably think he's going to come out and bum rush Pat Sabatini and knock him out. I don't know. I don't know if that's the case. Because all you got to do is outwork Joe Anderson Brito and he crumbles. And you saw what happened with William Gomez. He absolutely disrespected William Gomez. He disrespected him even into the fight. What happened? Got smacked up. He lost a split decision. So, yeah, Joe Anderson Brito got the power, though. He got the power. And then Pat Sabatini's a suspect. Suspect in the streets with his chin. So, yeah. I am going to pick Pat Sabatini, but he's not a confident pick. Therefore, I reserve my right not to pick him on Topology because I don't know. I want him to win in an ideal fantasy world because I have a crazy $5,000 parlay with him. But am I putting money on him right now? No, not. So I'm going to reserve my right to skip it. He is a wrestler. So that's why I'm really picking him. He has 3.97 takedowns, but Joe Anderson Brito is no slouch in that department. I just think maybe Pat Sabatini can out-scramble him. His takedown accuracy is more suspect to Joe Anderson Brito. The more I think about it, Joe Anderson Brito should absolutely smoke Pat Sabatini. The more I think about it, Joe Anderson Brito should absolutely smoke Pat Sabatini. But time will tell. I will tell you this one thing. Because I'm leaning on Pat Sabatini, he's going to be my live dog. So if I like what I see from Pat Sabatini, I maybe going to take a plunge and take him at a live play action. You know what I'm saying? Pat Sabatini opened up a plus 200, kind of stayed there. So I think the line is going to stay there. Minus 230 is where we want to price Joe Anderson Brito because he can drop the ball. And that's pretty much it. Let's move forward with the main event of the evening. And once again, the graphic behind me, it is one of the worst pictures I have seen in the last 2 to 3 years. Whoever made this graphic needs to be fired, needs to answer, because what is going on? It's just, what the hell? It's hurting my eyes, guys. It's really hurting my eyes. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. Maybe I'm just over-exaggerating, but who gives a shit? Let's move forward. We got Josh Emmett. Once again, the aging veteran, tailor the tape, 40 years of age versus 33 years of age. Prime, undefeated, the miracle Leron Murphy. And remember, he is the miracle because he's my last leg in that parlay. And man, imagine if I write this parlay out and they both hit, and I'll be like $2,000, $2,000, $2,000. You know what I mean? That'll be crazy, though. That'll be crazy. Oh, $75? That's a crazy flip. What's my total? What is my total? Wow. 20 units. 20 units of one parlay. There are people like celebrating, I got 3 units for the year. Yeah. 3 units for the year. And people do support them. That's one thing that I still don't understand. But you guys will learn. Time will tell. Josh Emmett, 40 years of age, 5'6", stocky, brolic guy. Packs a lot of power. And we are going to watch the power on display. So that was Josh Emmett killing Bryce Mitchell. He was coming off 2 losses, Yair Rodriguez and Ilya Topuria. I mean, they're just top 5, right? It is what it is. He killed Bryce Mitchell a year ago. He killed him. He really did kill him. I believe Bryce Mitchell died. And he suffered some kind of brain aneurysm because Bryce Mitchell has not been the same, right? He's been talking recklessly. Now, I did see there's an interview with MMA Guru and Bryce Mitchell. That's probably going to be my next thing to do after I finish breaking this down. But anyway, Lerone Murphy, younger guy, 5'9", 3.5-inch reach advantage. He got everything going for him. He's top 10. We reviewed the rankings, right? He's top 10. He's gonna be looking for that number 8 spot, and it's a decent spot for him to overtake. Because then he kind of can take out Brian Ortega, get into the number 6 spot, and then he can probably fight for the number 1 contender. Anyone up there would be a number 1 contender. Again, he's definitely behind Movsar Evloev, so Movsar is gonna get the title before, no matter how boring he is, and he will win the fight. The rematch between Diego Lopes and Movsar Evloev is looking very good because, you know, Movsar Evloev had a very, very uneventful win against Diego Lopes, and Diego Lopes really brought the business to him. So that's going to be a good rematch for the title. That's a good rematch. A lot of people are going to be hating on Movsar. A lot of money is going to be on Diego Lopes. But I do reckon Movsar Evloev is going to come out on top. He's very, very tough. He's very durable. He knows how to win. So Lerone Murphy should win this coming Saturday. Significant striking is there. He just got to avoid power punches and overextended power bombs from Josh Emmett. You know what I'm saying? He has good defense, 60% defense. He's not that hittable. Only absorbs 2.67 shots per minute versus 4.61. So 1+1, maybe the volume game. It is a 5-round fight. So, but Josh Emmett is so game, guys. But I have to pick the younger guy. I gotta go with the Miracle. How can I not go with the Miracle? A lot of people are gonna be going with the Miracle, right? And currently, the Miracle is sitting at a very comfortable 340, minus 340. He opened up at minus 290. And that's probably where I got him at. Where did I get him at? I got him at minus 270. Even better. What a price tag. What a price tag of minus 270. He's now minus 340. So I am winning in the line movement changes. You know what I'm saying? I am winning there. But yeah, I'm going to ride out. I don't even want to bet anything this fight. As you can see, I have a parlay going. You know what I'm saying? But for those of you that don't have... Let me save this, by the way, because last time I forgot to save my picks. So let me save my picks. Let me save my picks. View my picks. Picks are still processing. Okay, let's wait a few minutes. Perfect. So they did save it. Okay, save. View my picks. There you go, Murphy. So just to recap, we're gonna go Murphy in the main event. We're gonna go with Shang-Ho Lee. We're gonna go with Kennedy Nzechukwu, Brad Tavares, Finney, Gurule, Tioni Barbosa by finish, hopefully. Frunza, I don't think Skeletor is going to get the upset there. I'm going to go with the vet. I'm going to go with the vet Henry, but Pedro might surprise us, so be very careful. Pick no bet kind of deal. And I might put a unit on ALENCAR. I might put a unit on ALENCAR. That's just to start my night. You know what I mean? Just to test the waters out. I'm gonna put a unit on ALENCAR. It's gonna be my unofficial bet on this card. I'm gonna put a unit on this card, and I have 2 plays already in there. If I was playing a parlay, personally speaking, I would probably considering. Well, I told you a unit on ALENCAR. Kennedy and NZECHUKWU, Murphy parlay pieces. I would consider Torres Finney, maybe Brad Tavares. Yeah. And if you guys just want to just skip the whole prelims, you should. And just watch the main card. You know what I'm saying? Just watch the main card. That's pretty much it. I am working this Saturday, so I made a rule not to go crazy when I'm working. I'm just going to be paying attention. And yeah, man, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys like my picks. They're pretty straightforward. I'm not trying to overthink on this business. Did a couple of investments on my studio. Got a new microphone. Got a new audio processing software here. The Rodecaster Pro 2. That cost me arm and a leg. So I would appreciate if you guys smash that like button. You know what I'm saying? Subscribe to my channel. Let's make this money. My picks are always free. They're always going to be free for the most part. I don't want to sell you my picks. I think it's just crazy. My official bets are probably something I will consider down the line. For now, I'm just telling you what I'm playing, and we're just playing it. But yeah, I just want people to win and make some extra money watching fights and enjoying themselves. You know, just control your budget. Don't go over. You know, don't go crazy. Don't just live the entire week thinking about. Go to the gym, get yourself, you know, in top shape. That's what I'm doing. I was extremely overweight. I'm coming down in weight finally, and I'm working out, so I'm feeling much better. So that is very good. Go to the gym before you bet on Saturday, and you're going to be a winner automatically. Anyway, that's just a little bit of a closing thought. Anyway, take it easy. God bless. I'll see you guys when I see you.